It is July 24th, so it is coming up to the end of Tour de Fleece Week 3. Let's see how things are going with the braids that I've been spinning and see kind of where we might land. Because honestly, this has been a little bit different than I thought it would be, and I'm a little further behind, and I'm a little bit further along, and a little bit behind, but we'll get into that. To start off the week, I started with the 5-ounce braid from Wonderland Dyeworks in the Burning Bright colorway, and I'm going to apply these tonight because they've been resting for a while. This was a pretty easy spin overall. I'm looking forward to seeing what the actual yarn looks like, but I think I messed up when I was dividing the braid for the two bobbins. I think I spun one bobbin one direction and then the other bobbin the other direction, as in if the order was orange, purple, green, I did orange, purple, green, then I did green, purple, orange. So we'll see what these look like, but I'm pretty sure it'll still be nice. And I think I have one more braid of this, but I have to check. And so just tonight on my knit group call, I finished the second bobbin of this other Wonderland in Ocean Gem. And actually this is a Polworth in silk while the other one was a Merino in silk. And I did notice a difference spinning the two, and I think I preferred the Polworth. So then I did a bit of long draw testing on the Majacraft using the Corriedale fleece and the Merino fleece. So the first was a test between the Corriedale that I improperly washed and then actually properly washed. And there was a difference in spinning and carding especially. I think it was just a lot easier to get the properly washed fiber off of the drum carder. The other one stuck quite a bit and was kind of a pain to get off the carder, and it didn't spin as nicely, but it still spun pretty nicely. And it was a good practice for our sheep to shawl, which is actually happening next weekend. So I wanted to get some longer practice on that. And also, while I was testing the Corriedale rewashing, I did a sample of the black merino that I also needed to rewash. And this one is the test spin. And this, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but this is just buttery smooth in such a way that it's hard to describe. And this, I think, really solidifies for me just how different preparing your own fleece is versus buying prepared comb top. There's just something about it is just magical, and I think this is going to keep me doing that for a long time. So this was good to test, and now I can wash this as well. So I think the testing for the scouring method and the spinning, it gave me good information how to proceed better in the future and what I need to do so I don't have to rewash a fleece again, because I really don't want to do that again. But now I just have a little bit of that Corriedale left to finish washing, and then I can start carding that fleece. But once that's done, then I'm going to rewash the merino, and then I can start actually processing some of that Corriedale, because I would like to make a sweater for myself for the end of the year. I think that would be good, and it would also help compact that fleece down because there's a lot. That was a decently sized sheep. I'll set up the handspin with the woolly winder, which is now fixed and should be working, but this will be a good test. And let's get these yarns plied, and so we can do the last bits and wrap up toward fleece, and we can get a total yardage count. Welcome back. Today is the last day of Tour de Fleece, so let's do a full recap of what I did this week and just through the entire 3 weeks and kind of see what's going to happen from here. So, this week I was spinning 2 braids from Wonderland Fiberworks, and I did actually apply them today, this morning, and skein them, and I really like them. I think I preferred spinning this blend actually a little bit more, which is the Polworth and Silk 8515 in the colorway Ocean Gem. And this one turned out to be 488 yards. And then this color is the Burning Bright, which turned out to be 554 yards. And this is a merino and silk blend. And well, and with these 5 done, I also did some long draw practice on those fleeces that we talked about. So I have these 3 little mini skeins. So this is the one with a little bit of the dirt and a little bit of lanolin still in it, just to see kind of how that would be. And I had already, flood carded this and carded it, so I might as well. This one is when everything is properly carded and washed. And then this is a merino sample testing for washing and carding. And so this gives me a lot of good information, and I'm not really as skilled with a long draw as I am with my normal worsted style, and especially with our competition coming up, I need to actually practice with whatever wheel I'm going to bring. But these are good for me to know, and so I can start planning for projects for them once I actually have some bats. So the total of the samples and all 5 of these that I spun is a total of 2,409 yards of 2-ply, which is pretty good. And if you double that, that's how much I actually spun, and I'll put the numbers up on the screen. So I'm pretty happy with that. And seeing these 5 now in person, along with the big one I did in the beginning of the year, that gives me some really good information on what colors I should blend to make my shawl for the competition. With all that spinning done, I think what I'm going to do is switch to an every other week posting schedule. So I'm going to give myself next weekend off, especially because I have the virtual competition that I'm a part of happening next weekend. I'm not going to have time to do a video plus prepare for that. So I plan on seeing a new video the following weekend, and I'll probably try to stick to every other week. But as things change and you give me more ideas what you would like to see from me, I might change that schedule as well. But it wouldn't be Tour de Fleece without buying some fiber, and so I received a notice from my guild that someone was downsizing their stash, and so of course I went and invited a couple of my sheep to shawl group. So about half of us went and kind of saw what the person was selling, and when we heard some of the prices, we kind of said, okay, we're gonna take as much as possible, because why not? One of the things we bought that I'm splitting with a friend of mine is this massive cone of chenille, but it is linen chenille. So I might throw some of that on the loom near the end of this warp to kind of see what it plays like with the A2 cotton that I'm working on. Then I also picked up these 3 8-ounce bundles of a 50/50 organic brown cotton and merino blend. And this is just really soft, and I just kept petting it. And there's a little bit that's poking out one of the bags. And I was sitting there just kind of petting it, and my friend looks at me and she goes, you should get that, because you've been touching that for a bit. So I grabbed all 3, and I think this will be good for a long draw practice. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, and we'll see how this compares to spinning just pure cotton, because I also have some of that as well. And so the last thing I bought came as a surprise to my group members who were there, because they knew from last year, after I had to spin 2 shawl quantities of warp, and also do the weaving for one and help with the weft spinning of the other, I didn't want to buy any more or use any more or hear anything about this breed of sheep. And every time someone would say the name, I would twitch. But I think I'm a little over it, especially with the color of this. I bought a prepared fleece of this beautiful chocolatey brown with like little bits of gray Romney fleece. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it just yet. I might do some weaving with it, or I might do some knitting with it, or both, depending how much I actually have. I don't actually know. One of my friends there who kind of looked at me funny when I said Romney and I was going to buy it, I told her to feel it, and she felt it, and she goes, ooh, actually, this is really nice. And she's like, okay. So hopefully you enjoyed my Tour de Fleece videos, and hopefully you'll be interested in seeing some of the stuff I have coming up. I do have some videos with weaving with more spinning and knitting and some other crafts I do as well. And I got something in the mail this week that I am chomping at the bit to start working on, and that's a very big piece of equipment. Big-ish, not as big as this, but that's going to happen. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments, questions down below, and I'm going to do better at putting a link to some of the fiber and so I'm going to do better at putting the yarn or materials that I use along with some of the tools in the description. And they are not affiliated, they're just companies that I like or that I've used. Or if I'm linking to a specific shop, it's because I like them, in particular, Eugene Textile Center. Anyways, happy spinning, and I'll see you in probably 2 weeks for the next video. Until then, happy spinning!